After overcoming an affair allegation and a bunch of other allegations and being outspent by John Cornyn, the rhino from the Senate, the Trump-endorsed candidate Ken Paxton actually did win by 27 points just this week. And on top of that, apparently, a lot of people are really bullish on James Talarico, who is a gayer Beto O'Rourke, basically, in actually defeating the Republican come November in Texas, of all places. Now, let's get into an ad that attacks Talarico, because it seems like his own words are his own worst enemy. So let's see. All right, so this is the ad. It's actually some of the best stuff I've seen.
Move over, Davy Crockett. There's a new Texas trailblazer in town, and their name is James Talarico, the man who bragged, "Our office is the first in the history of Texas to add pronouns to our official business cards."
Reminder, this transgender stuff is 80-20 in America. Texas more conservative than the rest of America. Obviously, we know Texas. That said, 90% of people in the state of Texas will not agree with this trans stuff. And it doesn't benefit anyone, by the way. At least with the Mandani, yeah, you're a communist, but at least you're promising, you're free buses, free subways, free daycare. This guy's offering what exactly?
Running around like a crazy person today.
Spreading his white skin wherever he goes.
I am not a perfect Christian. Prophetic voices like Jesus have helped me reckon with my own whiteness, my own masculinity, and it's a painful process.
Also, keep in mind, most people won't point this out, but with the name like Beto or a name like Talarico, people could read that on the ballot and say this guy's Hispanic. And you know, obviously there's a lot of people like me that are Mexican American in Texas, and you could say, well, maybe they're trying to appeal to them, which they certainly are with the naming, but you might get the impression that, oh, this guy might be Hispanic, he could speak Spanish, and I think he does speak Spanish. He doesn't look Mexican, which is kind of stupid, and honestly, he gets the worst of both worlds, where he claims he's white, which is stupid, because if you look white, then just get the benefit of looking normal, and then on top of that, you could say, well, I have this Hispanic heritage, but he doesn't really talk about that, so it's very odd. He's a very weird person.
The cross of white skin and unambiguous masculinity.
I was a big nerd in high school, never played sports. I probably shouldn't out myself like this. Sex
Tough, man.
is a spectrum, and oftentimes can be very ambiguous.
God is both masculine and feminine and everything in between. God
So he's nothing then.
is non-binary.
Oh my fucking...
Straight from Revelations.
Woke James Bible. There we go.
In the woke James Bible.
I
That's
want
funny.
us all to be aware of that. There are many more than two biological sexes. In fact, there are 6.
And he slept with all of them. Come on.
And on the 7th day, they rested. But not James Talarico. He built an ark big enough for all creatures.
To be able to write legislation that benefits not just people, but also our animal friends.
Just
Oh, God. Our animal friends. Dude, you're gay, bro.
like the Supreme Court said, one cow, one vote.
Now, existential, that we try to reduce our meat consumption. It's the right thing to do and the moral thing to do.
The 11th commandment, thou shalt not smoke brisket.
I am proud to say that our campaign
He might as well just be against beer, cigarettes, Marlboro Red specifically. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
has officially
You know what? I actually hate Call of Duty. You know what? I actually hate pickup trucks.
become a non-meat campaign.
So step aside, Sam Houston. Talarico's bravery towers over Texas.
Yeah, so here's the thing, right? You've got a guy, he looks like Matt Damon with Down syndrome. I don't know what the hell's going on here on the left. He looks strange, and it's not that he's ugly. There's plenty. Ken Paxton's fucking ugly. He's got like an eye problem. I don't know what's up with them, no offense. But okay, that's not the deal breaker here. It's that he looks so uncomfortable in his own skin, and I'm very autistic, so I get it. But these people, Beto, Pete Buttigieg, they look weird. Gavin Newsom is a scumbag, but he's actually tall and good looking. I'll give him that. And he's a good talker. Now, Talarico is not tall. He's not good looking. He looks more awkward than Gavin by far. Gavin looks good. Okay. Look, anyway. Now, he's a good talker. I'll give him that. That's why people think he's a strong candidate. He'll go on Jubilee. He'll go on debates with millions of people. He defeats most of the Republicans on the facts. Maybe. But the point is that, like, who in Texas wears an outfit like that? He's trying to appeal to the people in his own state, which is like if I showed up in a cowboy hat and an Arizona flag. It's like, dude, what the fuck is going on?
He's fighting for all 6 genders and tens of thousands of species.
I guess we just have a different moral yardstick.
You know what insults Jesus?
Binary white people who eat barbecue and remember the Alamo?
There's only been one perfect Christian.
And they certainly weren't a carnivorous Caucasian binary Homo sapien, according to the woke Gospel of James.
They're going to call me a radical leftist, un-Texan, un-American.
And bar none,
Ouch.
the weirdest candidate for Senate the Lone Star State has ever seen.
So he has less appeal than Beto. He's gayer, more awkward. And, this whole thing that the Democrats do is they'll say, oh, this guy must be on our side. He must be very locked in because he's young and he's woke and he's energetic. And it's like, bro, this guy is a fucking weirdo. And at least Pete Buttigieg is a closet case and he's an autist and he's the Antichrist. I get it. One of them. But at least he's like a Harvard Law graduate and all that. Talarico does not have a single credit. I think he was a teacher. Anybody can be a teacher. Now, this is some of the more weird stuff that I've seen. This is the last video I'll show because I can only take so much of the guy. But come on. There we go. So this is Midas Touch, the interviewer, and they are one of the most prolific Trump haters. If you remember Project Lincoln or whatever, the Lincoln Project, they were all outed as pedophiles, apparently. It's the same type of people.
Doesn't work for them. That it only.
Sorry.
They've already began their attacks on you, and some of the kind of weirdest and bizarre ones. They're like, he's a vegan. They don't even know how to say it. He's a vegan, and you're not. And then they go, let's call him tofu, man. Let's call him tofu. And
Forced smile goes like the smiling Buddha,
which is ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous. I want to hear your response to just kind of not that, but just in general, stepping into this and seeing what they're doing when they put $1 trillion media machine behind attacking you. But
this guy has hundreds of millions of dollars coming in from out of the state of Texas, by the way, and these guys have the gall to say big Republican media. The media is not woke. It's not Hollywood. Actually, Fox News is the biggest news site, and it's like, yeah, but there's like 20 other liberal ones. What's the next one after Fox? Fucking Newsmax? Who cares? OAN? Rumble?
Thesis ultimately is, maybe that stuff worked 2 years ago or 3 years ago when people were also being pitched, we're going to make your life so much better and it's going to be affordable on day one and we're going to do so much things, it's going to be great. But like,
Cope, because you lost.
The bill is now due. And I think whether you're in Texas or whatever, people are like, okay, you promised me this stuff. It ain't happening right now. And you're not going to just divide and I get it. You're not going to make me vote for you by saying the word.
Talk about a softball. This guy's sucking his dick and he looks like a worm too.
Over and over.
Look at his skin.
Like, where the heck is my Doge dividend check that you promised? And where's my savings?
Are you going to let him answer?
You screwed me.
That's right. That's right. And, I'm an 8th generation Texan. I've been eating barbecue since before Ken Paxton's first indictment.
You're such a I can't say that word on YouTube, but come on, man. All right, I'm not the most masculine person, but Jesus Christ, man, the Democrats are not sending their best here. I feel like a fucking quarterback now, the jock, because this guy is saying, oh, an 8th generation Texan. No one gives a fuck. Like, as long as you were born there and raised there, I mean, who really can tell the difference between 1st generation, 5th generation? And, when you get to 8th generation, it's like, okay, how far back are we talking? Like the Revolutionary War? The fuck?
And if all they have on me...
Oh, yeah, by the way, it's like this pathetic fucking middle school, sorry, but like this whole mock trial thing of like, before your first indictment, I was eating brisket. You don't have to say that. That's like if I said, I play video games. I remember playing Call of Duty at 8 years old. It's like, that goes without saying. Of course you've eaten brisket. You're a normal person. Oh, wait, you're insecure about that. Of all things, think about it. Paxton's like, I totally did not cheat on my wife or whatever. Okay, that's actually kind of not cool, but that's like adult stuff. This guy's like, oh, I actually ate brisket, so I'm not a vegan. Okay, tofu.
Is lying about me being a vegan. I feel pretty good about our chances this November. And you're absolutely right.
No, you don't. Okay. It's not that you should feel good about that because you don't have a scandal, but it's probably because you're in the closet that you don't have sex and cheat and whatever. But even aside from that, it's because you're such a bad candidate that they just hit you on that shit, and it doesn't matter about your tax policy or your educational policy. It won't even get to that point because you are so essentially bad. They're talking about that first.
So many of my family members, my friends, my neighbors who voted for Donald Trump in 2024, they voted for him because they thought he was going to lower costs. They thought he was going to end the forever wars. They thought he was going to release the Epstein files and drain the swamp. But just 1 year later, they've seen how he's done the exact opposite. Through his crazy tariffs, he's made everything more expensive. He has started even more conflicts around the world, including this new forever war in Iran. He has done everything he could to keep the Epstein files from seeing the light of day. And the swamp in Washington is bigger than it's ever been. So there's a lot of disillusionment. And what I'm trying to do...
That's a very basic set of criticisms, though. Like Gavin Newsom would literally say the exact same verbatim with a lot more charisma. That's not going to cut it, man. And again, appeal to Texas specifically. Like, where do you stand on oil? Where do you stand on cattle? Agriculture? What the hell are we talking about here, right?
To speak directly to those Texans who...
Also, Texas is pretty pro-war, if I had to check. I mean, Bush was the governor for 8 years, goddamn.
Who feel like
Rick
the
Perry.
System doesn't work for them, that it only works for billionaires and puppet politicians like Paxton and Cornyn. And I think if we can bring those Texans together across all these divisions in our politics, if we can see past the distractions and the culture war tactics I think we can do something extraordinary. We can end 30 years of one-party rule in Texas, and we can transform American politics in the process. And that gets me excited every day to hit the campaign trail and talk directly to Texans about the things they actually care about.
Okay, so there you go. He basically made my point for me. 30 years of single party rule, probably for a good reason, okay? And even before that, I believe it was Ann Richards who was the governor, and that was a conservative blue dog Democrat governor. And by the way, she was what? Relatively conservative and pro-death penalty, if I recall, okay? That's the sort of Texan Democrat that you would need, okay? Not Beto O'Rourke, not this freaking cuckold in James Talarico, okay? Low T Talarico's cooked. And you might see the polls, and I'll show you some other time, and they're pretty much tied right now. I don't believe that for a fucking second. Number one, Trump won Texas by, what, 14%? So now you're convincing 1 in 7 Trump voters, come 26, theoretically, to vote for Talarico. Not happening. Come on. So anyways, like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you want more content like this, comment down below your thoughts, and I'll respond to you in a timely fashion. Anyways, I'll see y'all on the next one. Adios.